About, I guess it was a month ago now, I just did a workshop here for gut health. And there's actually two parts to this workshop. And I did the original part of this about a month ago. If you're under care in the office already, then don't worry about the first part, you're already getting that. We did this workshop, and this woman, she had been struggling for about 20 to 25 years with 20 to 25 years she had been struggling with autoimmune and fibromyalgia issues. She was basically not able to do anything that she wanted to do with her life. Like, it was very difficult for her to be with her son, to go on walks with him, to ride a bike with him, just to basically do anything normal. About 2 weeks into her care, this is a woman that's had fibromyalgia, autoimmune issues, debilitating pain for 20 years. 2 weeks into care, she doesn't have symptoms of fibromyalgia anymore, and she doesn't have autoimmune, like symptoms of the autoimmune. She's able to walk, she's able to ride the bike with her son, she's able to do these like normal things again. She's happy, but she's also kind of frustrated. She's like, how did I do this for 20, 25 years and no one ever told me that this was a thing? I think you would be a little frustrated too. When we reconnect the gut and the brain, which was that first portion of it, the brain and the gut, that connection, when the brain is connected to the gut is connected to the brain, it is amazing what your body is capable of. Sometimes we have so much damage that's accumulated in the gut over the years that that's not enough. Does that make sense? And there's more that needs to be done. So we've tried this a lot of ways, and we have tried to send people to functional medicine doctors, and they're amazing and they know what they're doing, they're fantastic. There's a lot of testing, there's a lot of steps in that process, and it takes an incredibly long time. I tried to do it myself, to go and find out if I had leaky gut and how to heal it, and I didn't really get an answer, which was kind of frustrating. And then I've sent people to different doctors to try to be diagnosed with this because I thought that that was their problem, and they go to Atlanta because it's the best guy that I know that can do it, and they're charged $6,000 to do the test, and then they're not given a recommendation of what to do for the care. So I just kind of got frustrated with the system of there's not a stepwise process of this is what you do. This is how you heal leaky gut. And I know this is an advanced nutrition talk. The advanced nutrition part of this is you understanding how your gut and how your body actually works, so that way you can absorb the nutrients properly. So that way your body can work the way that it's meant to. And I'm not just gonna sit up here and give you a bunch of information and try to teach you like, oh, do this, but then not give you the answer of the next step. Does that make sense? Because there's a lot of information out there about what gut problems people have and how digestion is an issue, and oh, just take prebiotics or probiotics, right? And then it's like, oh, that's it, I'll take probiotics and then it'll be better. No, well, there's this other test that you have to do, and then when you do that test, then we have to see if you need other things, right? And there's never this whole process. So I actually just put it all together. I'm just gonna give it to you. How to heal leaky gut and make it super simple. How do you know if you have leaky gut? Can everybody raise their hands? Everybody raise your hand. Everybody have a hand? Do you have a hand? Raise your hand. Does everybody have a hand, please? All right. If you're not, I'm not saying if you have leaky gut, I'm just saying if you have a hand, raise your hand. All right. All of you that have your hand raised, you all have leaky gut. Okay? Every single person in this room has leaky gut, because if you did not have a leaky gut or a permeable gut, you wouldn't be able to absorb any nutrients in your body. A leaky gut is actually a good thing. You need it. You need permeability in your gut. I know I was confusing you guys. All of you have a permeable gut lining. You need it. That's how you absorb what you eat. So if you're confused about that, you all have it. The issue is when the holes in the gut, they get too big. And then that's a pathological leaky gut. It becomes too permeable. And then things that shouldn't get through, they get through. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we're gonna get to it. That's part of the talk too. So I know some of you want to know how it happens, how the gut works. I'm going to dive into that, but I'm going to spend a majority of this just teaching you what to do. Is that fair? Is anybody just tired of more information and not enough of what to do? Yes, me too. That's why I created this talk. But some of you do like the science and the background behind it, so I am going to hit some of that. There's something called salutogenesis. Some of you have already seen this, and you know what it is. Some of you do not. We don't treat symptoms in this office. We may ask you about them because we care about you and we want you to feel better, of course, but we don't treat symptoms. We treat the human body. We get your body to function better, and as a side effect, the symptoms go away. Because right now, more than ever, we are just covering up underlying causes of problems and we're creating more problems. Does that make sense? So if we have high blood pressure, we're getting high blood pressure pills, right? If we have pain or migraine, we're getting migraine medication. There's a medication for everything, right? We're not going down that road. There's medications that are necessary. Like if you have type 1 diabetes, like you need insulin, you're with that. So I'm not saying that medications aren't necessary, but it's not the answer and it doesn't actually get you healthy. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Make sense? So what we do is we try to get the human body to function better, and if the human body can function better, then the side effects, the symptoms, they go away. If you want to understand where the symptoms come from, right? Because if we just treat this and we forget about all this, that's a problem. And that's where a majority of the treatment options are right now. So we have our genetics, our genes, right? Everybody's born with them, you're yours, you have them. You can't change your genes. So it was believed that if you had a family history of heart disease, your grandfather had heart disease, your father had heart disease, you're supposed to have heart disease. And you can't change that, right? That was what was believed. Now we know different, that lifestyle, different stressors, environmental stressors can change that. So does anybody ever hear about epigenetics?
Yes.
You know what that is? Yes?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Of course
good.
I do.
I'm glad you're here. So epigenetics is the expression of genes. So you have your genes, you can't change them, but you can change the way that your genes are expressed. So you don't have to express the gene of heart disease depending on your lifestyle choices, the amount that you exercise, the way that you eat, right? So you can make a difference in your body. It doesn't have to be that way. Most people don't know that. So the stressors, they can be physical, right? They can be emotional. Have you ever been so stressed you can feel it in your body? Like in your shoulders, right? Do you think stress could affect the digestive system?
Yes.
One of the quickest ways to change the microbiome in your gut is to actually be stressed. Right? And then chemical. Are there things that we eat that could chemically affect our bodies and be a stressor? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. If you look at a box or a bag and the back of it says maltodextrohydrocortisone something, probably causes cancer. I don't know how else to make that more clear. The simple things, just the simplest things that you can eat, those are the best things for you. What's better, blueberries or blueberry muffin?
Blueberries.
That's it, you can talk some. No, there's simple things that we know that we forget. It's very weird that we think of a diet, like when we eat real food, why are you on a diet? So when you eat real food, you're dieting. Why isn't that the lifestyle? It just doesn't make sense. Everything is about convenience, right? And convenience is killing us. It really is. Just straightforward. Anything that is convenient is just not good for you. These stresses affect the genetics, affect the expression of these genes, which can affect the GI system, the nervous system, immune system, creates inflammation in your body, kicks out symptoms. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
If we want to understand the gut, right, you have this tube that runs here from one end to the other, and it runs through here, right? And like I said, there needs to be a way that what you're eating can get through these intestines into the bloodstream and get to specific parts of your body to do something really amazing. Like the things that you ate today, they will regenerate heart tissue today. So your heart cells, they're dying every second. Like you all have heart cells that are dying in your body right now. But what you ate for lunch today, the proteins in that are actually getting converted into heart cells to regenerate those heart cells. Isn't that pretty cool?
Mm-hmm.
And that happens through the digestive system. So you have to get those through. And then there's this coating around there that protects your body, and the whole coating is actually all over your body. There's bacteria all over your body and all through your gut. And there's good bacteria and then there's bad bacteria. There's bacteria that's really smart too. There's a bacteria that's so smart that feeds off of sugar that will go up your spinal cord into your brain to a specific part of your brain, and it'll like poke it to make you crave sugar because it likes sugar, and then it can grow. Isn't that crazy? So the bacteria is really important in your body, and you want to make sure you have the right stuff in there. So 90% of the serotonin is made in the gut, 70% of your immune cells are made in the gut. That helps you fight off bacteria, viruses, and cancer. Pretty important?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know you have leaky gut? I already told you we all do. How do you know if you have it's over permeable or the holes are too big? These would be some of the indications. These would be some of the signs. And if you have one of these symptoms, it's very likely that there could be some sort of relationship. And there are medications for a majority of these, right? So, bloating, I guess you could take water pills, Gas-X, ibuprofen for cramps, food allergies and sensitivities, there's shots for that. IBS, there's medications for that. Hormonal issues, you can take shots. Thyroid problems, there's thyroid medications. Like, do you see? You can just keep going down the list. There's a treatment for each one of these symptoms, right? But if I keep doing that, is that actually getting to the cause? No. So we need to understand how to get to the cause. Fair? And it doesn't just leak into your gut. If anything can go through the gut, get into the bloodstream, it goes to your brain as well. So now the brain is affected. Did anybody before this ever hear of leaky brain?
Yeah.
And if you haven't, that's normal because most people haven't, right? Brain fog, fatigue, fibromyalgia, anxiety, depression, even neurodevelopmental disorders are being linked. Neurodevelopmental disorders, even being linked to it. So, in fully understanding this, just so you can understand how this happens, I think it's really important. So, we have that too. We have these finger-like attachments in this tube. So imagine like a hose, and inside the hose there's these fingers, right? They're called villi, and then off of those you have microvilli. It's kind of like a shag carpet, I guess that's the way you can explain it. And around all these, there's almost like a cheesecloth. Does anybody remember using cheesecloth, or like your grandma using cheesecloth? And they would use it to kind of strain out flour, something like that, right? And the things would come through that you wanted to come through, but the stuff that you didn't would be waste, right? And that's how your digestive system works. These stressors can create damage to this lining in the gut, right? A lot of them can be antibiotics or create a huge impact on the gut and the bacteria in the gut, right? Because it kills bacteria. It's not selective. It doesn't just choose to kill the bad bacteria. It can kill off the good bacteria too. Stress, like we talked about. One of the things that we talk about as well, like a lot of people talk about gluten, how gluten is an irritant to the gut for a lot of people. Has anybody ever heard that? And people go gluten-free and then they feel a little bit better. There's a reason for that, because they stopped irritating the gut lining. Gluten, it's definitely more of an irritant than other things to the gut, but it's not actually the problem. Like, it will damage the gut, but these cells, they heal so fast that it can just figure it out. Because the whole body, all the cells in your body, they turn over in like 7 years. You get a whole new body 7 years. Some of us want a new body, like you get one. Every 7 years, you get a new one. But your gut lining, it turns over every 3 to 7 days. You know, like your tongue, if you get a cut on your tongue, it heals faster. Same thing with the gut, it heals in 3 to 7 days. So you can tear or create tears in the gut lining with irritants, but your body will always fix it. But after a while, it kind of gets tired and it can't keep fixing it over and over and over and over again for decades. Eventually it's going to make a mistake and then you can't repair it. And then you have these strands, like these ones here, that aren't supposed to get through, these bigger ones, and they get through, they get into the bloodstream, and it creates irritation. Does that make sense? Imagine like a string of beads, right? When it goes through your stomach, the enzymes in your body, they cut off the beads. So the beads are the ones that are supposed to get through, not chunks of beads, right? And as you go further and further down the digestive tract, different enzymes break off different beads and they go through the body where they're supposed to, and then that's a good thing. But if the beads are too big, then you have a problem. If there's a strand that goes through that's even 7 beads wide, then your body, and we'll just call it like ABCD, right? If even 7 of those letters get through, these are peptides and amino acids. If 7 of them get through, your body goes, that's not supposed to be here, I'm getting rid of that thing. So your body sends antibodies to attack it. So your body will attack those things, and now you have an overactive immune system attacking that strand. And when that thing is in your bloodstream, now you have all those antibodies. Your antibodies run through your bloodstream, they'll pass through something like your heart, or they'll pass by something like your thyroid. And when it passes by it, and inside your thyroid, it has a sequence that looks like that and starts attacking your thyroid. That's what autoimmune disease is. Does that make sense? I know I went a little deep there, but people like the science part sometimes. And if it didn't make sense, that's okay. It took me a long time to understand. But the moral of the story is, if there's these holes, stuff gets through, your body starts attacking itself, it can create inflammation, autoimmune disease, you can't even absorb the nutrients in your body properly. Is that fair? Make sense? So, enough of what it is. Is that fair? Are you got enough?
Yeah.
Science? Yeah. I don't have to blow up your brains anymore with peptides. This is what to do about it. Stop feeding the problem. Literally. Just take a break. If we eat all day, every day, like, I love to snack. I just I love like mangoes and apples, and I eat a lot of fruit, but even that, I'm just like, if you're eating all day, it's just like you're constantly irritating the gut. If you never give it a break, it doesn't really have a chance to heal. So first off, figure out what the irritants are in your body. If you've never had a blood test to figure out what the irritants are in your body, that would be a good thing to do. Has anybody ever done that? find out what foods they're sensitive to, whether it's like gluten or soy or wheat or strawberries, or it could be anything. Because the reality is, if like a strawberry broke down in that intestinal lining and it seeped through with the sequence, and your body started to attack that, now every time you eat that strawberry or strawberries, you're going to have a reaction to that. So it's not actually the strawberries, right? It's actually the body's reaction to that because of that hole in the gut lining. So if you can seal that, if you can heal that, then you're less reactive to those particular foods. So if you do that test and you're reactive to 20 different foods, that's probably not real. And usually when you do that test and the 20 things are there, that's like every single thing that you eat, which is really frustrating for people. They're like, that's
Yes.
everything that I love. It's because you have a leaky, permeable gut that's pathological. The stuff is leaking through. Your body's hypersensitive to it. But if you can close the gut lining, then you can help those things heal. And you want to be as sensitive to those foods.
How do you do that?
That's what I'm gonna tell you right now. The question was, how do you do that, right? So one thing, figure out what the irritants are. You can do a blood test. Like there's a place right across the street. It's called Liquidita. You go there. I think the insurance like covers it, and you get a 6-page panel of everything you're sensitive to. There's other places that do it too, but most of the time insurance will cover things like that. You can find out what foods you're sensitive to. Just stop throwing those things into your body for a little bit, just for your body to recover. Big ones to look out for, like wheat, dairy, gluten, soy, stuff like that.
Yeah, just do elimination diet with commonology.
That's a good way to do it. And has anybody ever fasted before? Yeah, that's a lot of people. Like it actually is a very good thing for your body, as long as you can stay hydrated during that process and you can make sure you have the proper electrolytes in your body. It is a healthy thing to do for your body. The timelines on these, I'm not telling you to start with a 3-day fast if it's not something that you've done before, but you can do a 12-hour, you can do a 16-hour or an 18-hour. Those are pretty simple to do. You can come on in. So, has anybody ever heard of intermittent fasting?
Yeah.
Like you can eat whatever you want in 4-hour time frame and then just don't eat the rest of the day. It's like, how could I possibly not eat for 20 hours? That's how you do it. Like you have a 4-hour window where you can eat, right? And make it somewhere in the middle of the day, right? So say you started at 10 or say 11 o'clock. So you have your first meal, you skip breakfast, you have your first meal at 11 or 12 or 1. So now 11, 12, 1, 2, you have your last meal at 2, and then you just don't eat again until 11. That's a 20-hour fast. Maybe you do 6 hours and you get to 18. Could you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do it.
I didn't realize I'm fasting every day.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Without knowing it.
Right? And the longer that it goes, the benefits, they're very different. So HGH will increase here, fat burning. A lot of the benefit happens around that 18 to 20 hour window. Do you know what autophagy is? Has anybody ever heard of that?
No.
Your body will start to slough off the bad cells in your body, like all the cancerous cells in your body. It just gets rid of them. So your likelihood of developing cancer, like even just doing 1 day fast, your likelihood of developing cancer goes down dramatically for years, just literally from doing 1 day. There's a lot of research on that. I don't have the specific numbers in this because I don't want to give you too much more science. I just want to teach you how to do this stuff. So pick a time frame that you're comfortable with, but I really advise get to this, do it for a minimum of 3 days.
A week or?
A minimum of 3 days. If you like how you feel, some people just do it all the time, and that's how they live their life, which is fantastic. You may write some of this down, but I'm going to give you a slide with a breakdown of exactly what to do. So stop throwing the things that are damaging to your body on top of what the problem already is, and then pick a time frame that you're comfortable with, maybe build up, but I'd like you to at least get here. Is that fair? And to come here and just sit here and listen to this stuff, it's great, but if you don't actually do this, you're not gonna get a change.
So if you fast like 24 hours once a year, is that good?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
It takes anywhere from about
So
three,
we're good.
it takes 3 to 7 days for the gut lining to heal. So that's why I said a minimum of 3 days at this time frame.
3 days
So
in a
you
row.
could do one day, yeah, you'd be better off than everybody else that didn't do this, but yeah, 3 days in a row, back to back to back. You can do it 7, that's even better. Because it just gives your body a chance to heal. I'm not saying don't eat for 7 days, I'm just saying shorten that time frame. Cool.
What
And-
is, for fasting,
Mhm.
I was told recently there was a difference between women who fast versus men who fast. Like for women, the hormones are affected.
Yeah.
Is there a better time for women to fast?
I don't have the research on it, but I can look at it. And
Okay.
look at it with you and see what would be better. That's why I'm kind of just erring on the side of being a little bit safer and just saying like
Yeah.
that 18 to 20 hour mark. Three times.
Yeah, I know women's
Yeah, right.
studies is like just now
Yeah,
coming
just so
up.
that you take a picture of this if you'd like, please. If you want this information, just take a picture of it. So these are the ones that are going to irritate the gut off to that left side. Most of the gluten and the grains. It doesn't mean you can't ever have a slice of pizza. Like I like pizza, and I will have a slice of pizza at some point in my life, right? And I will put cheese on it. Doesn't make me crazy. Yeah, they make gluten-free pizza. But if we can heal the gut, then our body can tolerate those things. Does that make sense? Not if you have celiac. That's a different thing. Sugar, sweeteners, meats, dairies, like all that stuff is just going to irritate the gut. Tap water is actually, tap water is actually one of the worst. Like if you want to get rid of something, don't drink tap water anymore. Because the chlorine that's in it, it'll punch holes in your gut line. Don't drink chlorine water. I see some eyes that indicate that some of you were drinking it. So no more tap water.
Then what kind of water? Not tap
Spring water, like spring water is some of the best
Plastic
water.
bottles. And they say plastic bottles are not too
They make glass bottles, those are like the best to drink out of, or just get a good high quality filter for
What
your
about
house.
filtration system in your?
Yep,
on
so
your-
good quality filtration system is good, or you can get bottles that are BPA free. That's another way to do it.
I have a
You can get the
filtration
process.
system. When we bought that, they asked for the relay. Florida, oh, you're gonna need this.
You need the good one, yeah. A lot of the foods, like the non-organic foods, the pesticides that they use on the foods, the glyphosate, I'm saying that terrible, but those actually, like what's in Roundup, that's actually some of the worst of what tears up the gut lining. So, organic when you can. These are some ways to help heal the leaky gut. So, bone broth helps to seal the gut. Then we're going to talk a little bit more about these, like the fermented vegetables and the, just as part of this, just organic when you can, wild caught meats, like when you actually eat those things. Right? But what I want to get to is you stop throwing the bad things on. When you are eating, just be conscious of what you are eating for those 3 to 7 days. Because remember, I'm trying to give you a 3 to 7 day protocol where you can do this. I would commit to 7 if I were you, because it's really 3 to 7 days for the whole gut to heal. Commit to this for 7 days, and I guarantee you will feel different. I did this not intentionally. I do this with you guys, so I will be doing this over the next 7 days as well. I lost 15 pounds in 7 days. I wasn't even trying to do that. Crazy. I was like maybe 6 months ago, 7 months ago, I think I was closer to like 200 pounds or so. I was lifting a lot and eating a lot because I was trying to like grow muscle in my body, and then I lost a tremendous amount of weight from this and just from moving my body constantly. I exercise way too much, but I'm doing this with you. Like, I'm not just telling you guys to do this and then I don't do it as well. It's something that I do periodically throughout the year. So we have to stop throwing fuel on the fire, and then we have to look at feeding the good bacteria. So prebiotics are how you feed the good bacteria. You guys want to take a picture of that so you have it?
What is natto?
I don't know.
Oh.
That's a good question.
If you
That's a
get
great
oats,
question.
make sure you buy it organic because they spray a lot of glyphosate on it.
Yeah, and some of the big ones that I would recommend off
Yeah.
of this prebiotic food would be the bananas, garlic, and onions. Those are some of the easiest ones to get because you can have a banana in the morning,
Yeah.
and whatever you cook your food in, you could put onions and garlic in.
And
which is
only
very
one
easy.
banana a day, not more than one because the sugar, it's high sugar.
And, yeah, and then fermented foods, right? Making sure that the reason that we want different types of fermented food is because they have different types of bacterial cultures in them. So your body needs all different types of bacteria. And these different fermented foods, they all have different types of bacteria. So some of the recommendation is get like 4 or 5 different types of this. And I'll go over the specifics of how much to take, but you want to get one of these a day. Kombucha, does anybody drink kombucha?
Love
Yeah.
Really good.
Ginger
Like,
is my favorite.
I love kombucha. Kimchi is one of my favorite. Some people like it, some people don't. But pickled vegetables, that's the best taste. Like, get pickles.
Yeah, I love
Does
it.
anybody like pickles? I like. Okay, I like
Yes,
pickles.
I drink the pickles.
You could pickle carrots. You could pickle radishes.
Yeah.
You could pickle tomatoes.
Pickle anything.
You can pickle anything. Root vegetables are great to ferment when you can, like the carrots, right? Because they just have more bacterial culture in them because they're in the soil, right?
Do you know about sourdough? Because it's so popular right now, and now a lot of stores are taking the sourdough and adding stuff to it, additives.
It's one specific bacteria that's really good for you that you get. You actually get that same bacteria that we're talking about in sourdough. You actually get it from your mother's breast milk.
Yeah.
And you don't really get it anywhere else except for sourdough, so you can't, that's why it's so popular
Do
now.
you have like a suggestion of where to get good sourdough bread?
I don't. Make it.
Yeah, I know.
That's like the best way. Maybe a bakery that makes sourdough from scratch, that would probably be the best. That's what I would recommend. Everybody got this? Good?
Yeah.
Okay. And just so you know why it's important to feed this bacteria in your body.
So you think you're human. There's 7 billion people on this planet. You know how many microbes there are? 5 nonillion. 5 nonillion. That's the number of stars in the universe multiplied by 5 million. That's a lot of bacteria. And they're everywhere. They're on this floor, they're in your kitchen sink, they're on your chair, they're on your coffee cup. And yet, they're on you. You harbor 100 trillion bacteria in and on your body right now. That's only 1,000 times the number of individuals on this planet. And if you look at it in terms of cells, you are outnumbered 10 to 1. You are not human. You are a walking bacterial colony.
Wipe off your arms. said, I'm getting hungry. There are so many options for food, and a lot of the nutrition and the base for nutrition was lost over time. And it's sad because we were better at it 50 years ago than we are now. We were better at it 80 years ago than we are now. Because these, I guess you could say like recipes or things that our grandmothers or great grandmothers did, like fermenting vegetables, it just got lost over time. Like sourdough, like it's coming back. A lot of these lost methods of healing the body, they're coming back because they worked, and we went for convenience. A pill to get probiotics, a pill to get prebiotics. Like you can get it from food. We may have to like supplement now to replenish those, but we need to go back in time to how things were done. Anybody ever get Campbell's soup and ginger ale when they were sick? Did their mom ever give them that? Ginger ale and Campbell's soup, right? What it actually was supposed to be was bone broth, right? It was supposed to be bone broth, and it was supposed to be ginger, not 72 grams of sugar in a bottle that feeds the bacteria that's creating the problem in the first place, and then a bunch of sodium from iodized salt.
Yeah.
Right? It was
With
supposed
those
to be
crackers.
something to, yeah, with crackers, with more gluten to your gut lining. So it was actually supposed to be ginger, which decreases inflammation, helps calm the gut down and the lining of the gut, decreases some of the pain when you're going through the sickness, and then the bone broth would actually coat the gut lining and help your body heal. So we just went again for convenience as opposed to the actual thing, and we need to get back to the thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is, it's a process to do some of these things, and we have made it more convenient for people. Like we do have programs where we do this stuff for you, but it's great and it's really helpful because some people just don't have the time to do this stuff. But if you have the time, like, do this. We found a way to do it through whole food, but just giving it to you. Just do this, right? So pick 4 or 5 vegetables and ferment them. You can put them in pickle juice. You can look online for recipes, get some jars and put the stuff in, leave it in there for 3 or 4 days and eat it. And I'm gonna go over the specifics of how often to eat it. Anybody ever hear apple a day keeps the doctor away?
I do it all the time.
So there's one piece missing in that though. What is in this apple is actually a very specific enzyme that will help your body know where the bacteria in your gut should go. So it teaches the bacteria where to go in the gut lining, and it helps break down food in a way that no other enzyme does. It's called intestinal alkaline phosphatase, IAP. The way that you get it is you dice up some apples. Again, this takes time. So get 10, 15 apples, get a big pot. Don't use tap water. Put water, put water into the pot, and you dice up the apples, keep the skin on. You have to keep the skin on, that's the whole point. Fill up the water to about here on the apples. Let it steam until the apples get soft, but you'll see like a red shine on there. Not the wax shine from the wax on it, but get some organic apples that don't have a waxy shine to them. Wait for that shine to come onto the apple. That's a release of something called pectin. You activate the pectin in the apples, and then you can put it in like a blender, something like that, and you blend it up, and then you have applesauce. And the applesauce is where you get the pectin. And that pectin releases or activates the IAP in your body. So does that take some work to do? Yes. And maybe you can buy it, but you might actually be able to buy pectin applesauce now. I'm sure you could in a store. Never even thought of that. See if you could find it, but if not, you could just make it. It's probably way cheaper to make it yourself too.
Yeah, it tastes
And
better.
it's not, doesn't take that long. If you want some sweetener in it, you can put dates, you can put raisins if you want it to taste a little bit sweeter, but it's probably really good. It actually is really good just like that. Is that fair? And then if you want to seal the gut lining, well, this is the whole protocol. So this is how to heal leaky gut. I'm giving it to you. I would take a picture. If you can remember all this, that's amazing because it took me a while to figure this out. So take a picture or ask for a printout on your next visit if you want, and we can get it on a sheet of paper for you for the printout. So number 1, stop throwing fuel on the fire, right? 2 prebiotics foods per day. Do you guys have a list of what the prebiotic foods were? Banana, right? Only one a day.
What?
Only one a day.
Oh, yeah.
Onions, garlic, right? That's simple.
Pickled onions,
Oats.
really good.
So you're gonna have 2 prebiotic foods per day, 1 root vegetable. What's a root vegetable?
Carrot.
Rosemary.
Carrots, sweet potatoes, rutabaga, radishes, parsnips, right? How do you cook that stuff? Cut it up, throw some oil on it, salt and pepper, throw it in the oven with the onions and the garlic. Tastes great. And it's super easy. You know, you can look up recipes, and if you have an air fryer, you throw it in the air fryer. Probably a quick way to do it. You're gonna look at me because get a ceramic air fryer if you. I knew you. I read your mind.
I do, right?
I read your mind. Because of the Teflon.
I was just.
I knew it was doing that. I actually just ordered a ceramic air fryer today because I wanted to make sure I did that. Supplements. Right now, your body may require some supplementation just for about 3 months, so that way your body can re-regulate itself. So it is great to get it from the food, but the reality is that a lot of our food is depleted now. And our soil isn't the way that it was 50 years ago or 100 years ago. It's different in different countries, but in our country, the soil is pretty depleted. So you do have to look at supplementing some of the probiotics and the prebiotics. You can get that at any
I do see.
store. What's that?
Seed.
Seed.
Seed probiotic.
What? Say that again.
Seed.
That's the one that you use.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then fermented vegetables, just 1 spoonful. You could have more, but like a spoonful of kimchi, the fermented carrots, the sauerkraut, like any kefir, kombucha, like just get some probiotics into your body and switch it up every day. Don't have the same thing every day. But if you can have a couple of them a day, go for it. It's actually really good, and if you're trying to work on like your body and figure, it does take care of a lot of bloating, and it actually flattens your stomach by having the fermented vegetables. I know not all of you are doing this for looks, you're doing it for health, but if it's something that you deal with where you have like stubborn belly fat, that actually can help a lot with that. 2 to 3 tablespoons or more, if you want, of the pectin applesauce that you made without chlorine water. And then, vitamin D, fish oil, those are all good supplements, right? Just go outside.
Yeah.
That's a great way to get vitamin D. That's one of the best ways to heal the gut lining.
Just go outside.
Just don't put the cancerous sunscreen on your body. Sorry, this is a whole nother talk.
Get mineral
L-glutamine is a great way to heal the gut. You can get that actually through the bone broth. And then the best way to heal the gut lining is actually colostrum. Do you know what colostrum is? That's the first feed from your mother. So when kids were not breastfed, they typically have a lot of allergies. They have a lot of attention deficit issues. They have more pain throughout their lives. They're more susceptible to disease because we all have a very permeable gut when we're born. when you have that first feed, the colostrum is actually what binds the cells together and closes the gut lining. So if you've never had that, or if you weren't breastfed when you were a kid, then you've had a leaky gut your entire life, unless you've supplemented with colostrum. I would highly recommend don't get the powder form of this and drink it, because don't do that to yourself. They make capsules of this if it's something that you want to do. If you're not allergic to dairy, obviously, but if you're vegan or vegetarian, the L-glutamine is a great way to heal it. But the gold standard of sealing the gut lining, it is colostrum. I just put one of these
Yeah, I saw you had Armani.
up here.
Yeah, Armani.
This one is powder, but I think they do make a capsule in this one. But I would highly recommend don't get the powder, get the capsules, just because it's easier to do. And again, it's not something that you have to do all the time. But this is one of the higher quality ones, so it is a bit more expensive. But this is a very, very good one. But
Is that
anything
chemically
that
made, or
what's that?
is that real or made?
Yeah, it's real. It's real. It comes from cows, and it is like you really want like grass-fed, organic. It's like cow's milk, but it is the colostrum, and it helps seal the gut. I know it sounds crazy. I usually tell people don't drink milk because it's not like I don't drink milk. I don't recommend dairy. But in this particular case, for this specific function, it is just the gold standard on sealing the gut lining. So if you can supplement it, they put it in with other supplements now because of the benefits of it. But if you can seal the gut lining, it's just a huge help. So
What about grass-fed milk?
it's like, I mean, again, the milk a lot of times will irritate people's gut lining.
No, I know that.
Raw,
We don't
raw
have
dairy is
that.
probably a little bit better because you're getting like that bacteria from there, but everybody's different, so
Yeah.
it's hard to say for sure. But this is the protocol. So do this for 7 days. Like I said, these two may need to be done, or these three maybe need to be done for about 3 months just for the supplement. But if you like the way you feel, just continue to do this. Was this nutrition talk way different than you thought it was going to be? Did you guys think I was going to talk about something else? Yeah. This is advanced level thinking of nutrition.
Yeah, you're like my graduate class. That's why I understand this.
No, it's okay. That's what I wanted to give you. I wanted to give you something real. And this is the realest way to do this. Please take action on this and do it for yourselves. Fair? Thank you. And